So I just saw the newest Paul Thomas Anderson film, One Battle After Another. And I'm going to say here, from Hollywood, this has been the best movie of the year. It is a masterpiece. I cannot call any other movie I reviewed on my channel a masterpiece until now. I haven't seen a masterpiece since like 2023 in my opinion. Again, my opinion. There's some movies that people say masterpiece, but for me, not so much. But what is this movie about though? Well, it's about Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a revolutionary. He's part of this group called the French 76 or 75. They're going against the U.S. government, and he falls in love with one of his fellow revolutionaries, but he was played by Tiana Taylor. But they're also being hunted down by a army general played by Sean Penn, and you watch as this little cat and mouse game, like after years ago passed, where Leo is now a dad and is looking after his daughter, and his daughter gets split up, and they're trying to get back together and escape from Sean Penn. So yeah, again, the premise isn't that crazy, and also has some aspects that may piss off certain people who are leaning towards the right. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people from the right say this movie's a woke BS, and I can understand, and honestly, I don't agree with this movie politically, or at least some of the politics. There's some, like 50-50 I would give it. But again, the whole point, in the movie, you can enjoy it without having the same exact politics. If there was movies that have the exact same politics as me, there would be like 5 movies I could think of that have that exactly align with my thoughts and beliefs. So again, you gotta look past your own and see other people's point of views. And I think I'm willing to do that for a movie like this, especially of this quality, because because everything else is so interesting and engaging. The characters, the writing, the action, and the cinematography, it's all top tier in this movie. So again, different politics are something I can more than just say, who cares? Who cares that the French 75 are like liberals trying to defeat the conservative bad guys who are just over the top racist. Sometimes it's okay to be exaggerated, and that's what this movie is supposed to kind of be exaggerated. As much as people like to say it's important, it does speak to the modern times, and it does. But to say it's an exact replicate of what's actually happening, I don't think Paul Thomas Anderson is trying to make you think this is what's really happening in the world. Wake up now! He's drawing parallels while putting a comedic aspect on this movie. And speaking of comedy, this is probably his funniest movie yet. He has Paul Thomas Anderson's few movies like Licorice Pizza and Inherent Vice. They're both comedies, and they didn't really land that well. But this one, oh man, it's hilarious. Especially Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Bob. He is just hilarious. He's a stoner. The best way to describe it is like watching the dude from The Big Lebowski get stuck in this huge, getting hunted by the military and trying to find somebody at the same time. It's hilarious. You just watch him fumble around, constantly screw up, yet still barely make out by the skin of his teeth in these scenarios. If it wasn't for some help, Leo would have been toast. And he gets help from characters such as Benicio del Toro, as he plays a guy named Sensei. And again, he's great, as he is in almost every movie. There's also his daughter, played by Chase Infinite, a newcomer, and she does a great first impression. I think there is a good chance for a good career along the way. And another issue, but there's one issue I do have with this movie though, and that is the first 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes are really good. I actually like the pacing for the most part, but there's one section, like the middle way, I think it kind of meanders a little bit. I don't want to spoiler, but there's one scene that's just really bores me in the beginning. It's like, okay, can we start getting to the point where we saw in the trailers where Leo's trying to save his daughter? It takes a while to get there, but when we do get there, it is full nonstop fun. And it's so great. And honestly, as much as people like to talk about the political parts of this movie, at its heart, what it's really about is the father-daughter relationship between Leo and Chase Infinite. It's the main heart of the film, and that's just something, whether you are, again, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, left, right, they're all pretty much the same thing, in my mind at least. I'm not that aware of both the politics. I just watch movies. But that you can agree with that, unless you're a really screwed up person who thinks fathers and daughters are a horrible relationship. I don't want to even meet you if you think that way. But again, for like an average person, that's what it's about. It's just these two, the connection they have, and despite their differences, what they're willing to do for each other. And I think that's what makes this movie so compelling. Again, it's so hard not to talk about this without spoiling anything, but you really should go check it out. And before I go though, one thing I say, as great as everybody is, Sean Penn is the scene stealer. I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say, great performance. Honestly, he thinks he deserves an Oscar for it. He's that great. 10 out of 10. First one on the channel, or at least for a movie. Go check it out, please.